Oliver, Mr. Oliver's resource page. Mr. Oliver, Mr. Oliver, Mr. Oliver's resource page. Mr. Oliver, Mr. Oliver, Mr. Oliver's resource page. Oh, yo, 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 Unit 5, Lesson 14 homework. Let's get right into it. Today is all about subtracting decimals. The good thing about subtracting decimals is it's very similar, pretty much almost exactly the same as adding decimals, except you're subtracting. So let's go ahead and, y'all know I always like to give you guys some concrete, definitive steps to how we will go about doing this. The first thing we need to do is line up our decimal points. Line it up. If you got two numbers, one number is here, and the other number is right below it, and the decimal points are lined up. That is the main thing. Now, the second thing you need to do is put your placement zeros. This is what I like to call balancing the equation. If you have placement values, uneven placement values, like you might have the same amount of placement values for both, but if you have something in the hundreds place for one number and you don't have anything for the hundreds place for that number, put placement zeros in. So y'all know what it is. If there's an open spot, fill it with a placement zero so that you can balance your equation. Just treat it like it's a regular problem. Go ahead and subtract from right to left. All right, do it just like that. All right. The last step, make sure that your placement zero in your difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. Make sure that your placement zero is in line with your placement zeros up here. Okay, so basically you line up your decimal points, put your placement zeros in, then you subtract, and then make sure your decimal point is lined up and you're all good. All right, y'all, let's get right into it because we got our steps now. Now it's time to put them into effect. Now, our first problem is 22 and 8/10 minus 3 and 67/100. And the first thing we want to do is estimate the difference to the nearest whole number. So let's look at 22.8. We are estimating to the nearest whole number. So you should be looking at your ones place and notice that 2 in the ones place is either going to rest or soar depending on what that 8 in the tenths place tells you. And since it's an 8 in the tens place, which is over 5, we are going to make that 2 soar up to a 3, and we'll round 22 and 8/10 to 23. Okay? Now, let's look at 3 and 67/100. We're rounding that to the nearest whole number. So we look at our ones place. Our 3 is either going to rest at 3 or soar to 4, based off of that 6 in the tenths place. Since we got a 6, which is over 5, it's going to make that 3 raised to a 4. So 3 and 67/100 rounds to 4. So let's go ahead and estimate what our answer would be. 23 minus 4 is going to give us 19. So we know right now our answer has to be somewhere around 19. All right, so now let's go ahead and solve. We got 22 and 8/10 minus 3 and 67/100. Now, first thing we want to do is line up those decimal points. We got them lined up. Now, let's see if there's anywhere in here where we would think about adding a placement zero. When I look, I see an open spot by that 8. I'm going to add a placement zero there. And I also see an open spot in our tens place by that 3. So I'm going to add a placement zero there. All right, so now we're ready. We added, whoops. Sorry, y'all. We're ready. We added our placement zeros. Let's go ahead and subtract. We're going to start from right to left. Now, in our hundredths place, can we do 0 minus 7? No, we cannot. So let's get this out now. Get this out the way now. Because I know it's going to be some of y'all, it's going to be a lot of y'all that do 0 minus 7. 0 minus 7 is 7. No, it is not. You cannot do 0 minus 7. You need to go to your tenths place and borrow from there. So we borrow from our 8, which turns that tenths place into a 7. And now we have a 10 in our hundredths place. 10 minus 7 is 3. Now we can go to our tenths place. 7 minus 6 is 1. Now, let's look at our ones place. Can we do 2 minus 3? No, we cannot. we have to borrow from our tens place. All right. So now we have a 12 in our ones place. 12 minus 3 is 9. And that 1 in our tens place. 1 minus 0 is 1. So our answer is 19 and 1300ths. And now let's check, because our original estimation was 19. And our answer is 19 and 1300ths. That makes sense to me. All right.
4 tenths, hundreds, thousands, to the right, tenths, hundreds, thousands, placement value, tenths, hundreds, thousands, to the right, tenths, hundreds, thousands, placement value, tenths, hundreds, thousands, to the right, tenths, hundreds, thousands, placement value, tenths, hundreds, thousands, to the right, tenths, hundreds, thousands, placement value.
1 tenth equals 10 hundreds equals 100,000. Yeah, we getting. 1 tenth equals 10 hundreds equals 100,000. Yeah, we getting money. 1 tenth equals 10 hundreds equals 100,000. Yeah, we getting. 1 tenth equals 10 hundreds equals 100,000. Yeah, we getting money. Tenths, hundreds, thousands, to the right, tenths, hundreds, thousands, placement value, tenths, hundreds, thousands, to the right, tenths, hundreds, thousands, placement value.